and students will help with the preparation for the shopping. Thanks to our college principal and then support staff for their assistance in one way or the other. To raise funds for the construction of the stairs. So
I'd like to, in fact, start off by saying that some of you may not know this, but before coming here this afternoon, I was with Mr. Sen down at the Lautoka Special Needs School, where his foundation has actually also put up a computer lab. And I said there at that gathering that the sign of maturity, the sign of justice, the sign of fairness in any country, in any community, is demonstrated when we are able to bring people who we do not consider to be part of mainstream society into mainstream. So generally when people are disabled, they can't walk well, they can't speak well, they may be drooling when they speak, they can't talk well or hear well, we don't generally include them in these kind of functions, or we don't have them in mainstream society. Or we may have people in minority groups, whether they're a particular religious group, ethnic group, women, youth, whatever group it may be, when they're not part of mainstream, and if you don't include them in the mainstream, it goes to show that that country or that community does not have that level of maturity. So this is why you'll see that under the Bainimarama government, the 2013 constitution, for the first time in Fiji's history, gives rights to people with disabilities. For the first time you see in Fiji's history, as has been noted by Mr. Sen, a government has given free education, completely free education, from primary to secondary school. Why? Because we do not want a situation that if the father loses his job or the mother loses the job, that the children stop going to school. Because every child in Fiji must have the opportunity to be educated, at least, at the very least, up till Form 7. We of course now also have a tertiary education loan scheme, and we also have a tertiary scholarship scheme based on merit. But what it means, if they do not get a scholarship, they can get a soft loan. They don't even have to pay interest if they come from a low-income family. So, getting back to my original point, we as Fijians must always be concerned about people who may be on the margins, to bring them into the mainstream society. Bring them together with us. And this is exactly what is happening in Fiji. What is also very important about this day is that we have a foundation which is called the Reach for Your Future Foundation, headed by Mr. Ganesh Sen, which is essentially made up of Fijians who now live abroad. People like him who have migrated, who now live overseas, have done very well, now feel a sense of obligation or sense of duty or even a passion to contribute to their home country. And we acknowledge that. We want to encourage more of that. This is why we also have dual citizenship. As I said to Mr. Sen, hopefully he'll take up his Fijian citizenship again. You already have. He already has. Let's put our hands together for him and his foundation. Because this is exactly what we need. We need all Fijians to come together, whether current Fijians or former Fijians, to come together and invest in these people. As the MC said, there could be a prime minister. You don't have to be a prime minister. There could be a wonderful school teacher. There could be a wonderful carpenter, a joiner, engineer, amongst all of these children. And they must become all contributing citizens towards our country. Because even if they don't become somebody prominent in society, at least individually, they will feel self-satisfied. At least individually, they know they've done the best. And you as parents, those of you who are parents, you know that you have given the best to your children, of course with the help of government. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank, of course, the Andhra organization for allowing this computer lab to be built here. This of course complements what the Bainimarama government has been doing. As you know, the Prime Minister until recently has opened up about 20 telecenters throughout Fiji. We set up these telecenters free of charge. We give free computers to schools on one condition, that apart from the students using it during school hours, the school must allow all adults and other people living in that community to use those computers after hours. So we have set up, for example, computers near villages in farming areas, and we find adults who've never used computers before are now going and using it after hours. Some of them even to make a free phone call to their relatives overseas. But that's good, because at least they're using a computer. So next time maybe they'll use it for something else. So what Mr. Sen's foundation is doing is actually helping that initiative. And we'd like to, as I was talking to him, that whilst this computer lab has been set up, they do not have internet connection. And I would now like to give an undertaking to the school committee and the organization that the Ministry of Communications will actually give free internet connection, as we've done with other schools. Because we see this as part and parcel of growing our minds, developing Fiji as a smarter community, as making sure that we will have a brighter future for everybody that lives in our wonderful country. So thank you for Andhra, the head teacher, thank you for facilitating this, and all of you for waiting this evening, this afternoon. I wish all of you a very good afternoon. Vinaka, thank you.